Ja, guten Abend zusammen. Ich begrüße Sie. Ich begrüße euch zu den Statements der Trainer nach dem Spiel der Düsseldorfer EG gegen die Eisbären Regensburg. Endstand 6:1 vor 5.187 Zuschauern. Auch danke an die Fans aus Regensburg, die hier gute Stimmung gemacht haben. Die anderen Ergebnisse: Landshut unterliegt Bad Nauheim 2:3, Kaufbeuren unterliegt Weißwasser 2:3 nach Penaltyschießen, Bietigheim besiegt Freiburg 4:1, Krimitschau unterliegt Rosenheim 0:3, Weiden gegen Kassel ist abgebrochen worden, da gibt es ein Problem mit der Scheibe, und Krefeld verliert 3:5 gegen Ravensburg. Bei mir sind die beiden Trainer, Peter Flache für Regensburg, Rich Czernomatz für die DEG. Ihr Statement.
Guten Abend zusammen, Rich Düsseldorf. Glückwunsch zum Sieg. Auch danke von meiner Seite an unsere Fans, die die Reise gemacht haben, und an Frau Sommer vom Plaza in Hotel Best Western die Möglichkeit zu übernachten hier in Düsseldorf für unser Spiel am Dienstag in Krefeld. Zum Spiel: Ich fand, der erste Drittel für uns war okay. Zweite Drittel von unserer Seite war man einfach nicht bereit zum kämpfen. Ja, das war eigentlich der Unterschied. Was zweite Drittel, letzte Drittel haben wir besser gespielt, dann eine Überzahl gearbeitet. Sonst war einfach nicht genug. Mit Abstand die schlechteste Leistung von meiner Mannschaft diese Saison. Aber bin überzeugt, mit dieser Mannschaft, wir werden die Antwort haben am Dienstag in Krefeld. Danke.
Das würde uns freuen. Rich, dein Statement.
Guten Abend zusammen. I think this weekend we took some good strides in the right direction. We made a couple of changes in our tactical areas in the defensive zone and through the neutral zone, and I thought Friday night in Castle the guys responded very well in those changes that we made, and tonight especially we stuck to our plan. We battled, we competed a lot harder than we have the last couple of home games, and I think that was the difference. I mean, this weekend we only gave up 4 goals, and 2 of those goals were on the power play. So, as far as our defensive play, that's when games are decided usually, and we had a better start tonight. We funneled a lot of pucks to the net, and we had some, really good individual performances from some players. And at the line of Hirano, Bradford, and Tourlinden really did a good job leading the way with their offensive input. And Looney, he had a great game. He was there when we needed a big save from him, but it was probably for chances against from the other team. That was the least amount of chances that we gave up for a few games now. And so it was a good response from the players, and I told the players before we went out on the ice tonight, we owe it to our fans to make sure that we come out and play as hard as we can, because they deserve that. Thank you.
Ich fasse kurz zusammen. Er hat gesagt, das Wochenende wäre für seine Mannschaft in eine gute Richtung gegangen. Er hätte sehr viele Änderungen vorgenommen, auch taktisch, auch defensiv. Die Mannschaft hätte diese Änderungen gut angenommen, hätte gut darauf reagiert, auch schon in Kassel. Sie hätten sich heute an den Plan gehalten, sie hätten dagegen gehalten, mehr als zuletzt in den Heimspielen. Wir haben nur 4 Gegentore kassiert gegen 2 schwere Gegner an diesem Wochenende. Wir haben viele Pucks zum Tor gebracht, eine gute Einzelleistung. Die Reihe von Hirano, Bradford und Linden hatten einen guten Job gemacht und die anderen angeführt. Niklas Lunemann im Tor war da, wenn wir ihn gebraucht haben, in den richtigen Momenten. Insgesamt eine gute Leistung auch für die Fans, die es verdient hatten, mal wieder einen zu sehen. Gibt es Fragen von Bernd Spickerath?
Rich, would you agree what the best performance this season so far?
Well, first of all, Regensburg, we were expecting a very tough game tonight because they've given up the least amount of goals in the league from all the teams in the league this year. And, they may not have some fancy-like players and stuff, but they have players that are willing to listen and pay attention to the coaching staff. to play a certain way, and it's part of the reason why. For us, we want to go from our end to the offensive end as simple and as easy as possible, and we did that tonight. And so every time their defenseman had to go back 200 feet for the puck, slowly tires their defenseman out. And I hope your goalie's okay, Peter, there after he got injured in the second period. But that's why I compliment our guys, because not only tactically that they do a really good job, but they had really good puck management, and we limited and minimized our turnovers in the neutral zone.
Max Faber mentioned the tactical changes. You mentioned it. Could you a little bit going into the details? What did you change?
Well, we needed to be more compact as a group of five, as opposed to get stretched out by forechecking in the neutral zone or in the offensive zone with two guys. I think that support, and if you look at a team like Castle, who's gotten off to a good start, that's exactly the way that they play, and they wait for teams to turn pucks over in the neutral zone, and a few times off our counters, that's exactly what they did because of our good positioning in the neutral zone.
I think the biggest thing on this weekend was the starts were way better. Did you also change mentally something?
There's different things that you can say, or and one of them is and I told the players, I said, when you dig yourself a hole, the only way to get out of it is to stop digging. And I think just through some video that we showed them this past week, especially after Tuesday's game against Krimitau, the guys picked it up pretty quick. So that tells me they're all buying in. And going into the third period, I said the most important thing tonight is the team's 3 points, not your 3 points. And that's the response that you as a coach like to see out of your team, that even though we had a 5-1 lead, we didn't give them anything in the third period. And that shows a sign of a true character of our team.
There was even a guy with 4 points during today. What would you say about his performance?
Well, part of the reason for the change of putting all three of those guys together is that we weren't getting enough secondary scoring, because we were spreading our experience out a little bit. And if you look at some of the other teams in the league, they have a bona fide number one line. And so I thought it was time that we got our three imports together, and they led the way tonight, and quite obviously put up some goals and created some points for themselves.
You changed the lines very often in the last weeks, or during the
That's the reason why.
Yeah.
We weren't getting any secondary scoring, So, it's very difficult if you only score 2 goals at home to win hockey games, because the games change. The game can change very quickly, not only by what the other team's doing, but sometimes how the reffing can be. That a 3-0 lead in this league is never safe. But the good part is the guys played patient. They didn't try to do too much on their own, especially at home. And that's the part that I'm really proud of them, in the way that they responded this weekend after 2 shitty home games.
Were there some players who were complaining about all the line changes because there was a lack of chemistry then?
Well, whether they were or they weren't, I didn't hear any about it. And then if I did hear about it, I don't care. At the end of the day, when, things go well, it's because of team performance. And I have to, care more about the team than an individual player's perception of what he thinks is the right way to play or who to play with. And there's nobody on this team that can dictate who they should play with. So I think to this part, the guys in the line changes that we made in the past were fine, but we changed all three of the 4 lines tonight that we played with on Friday night. So, it was good.
Is it possible that you that you now have a real first line and you and they will
We
play
had a real
together
first line tonight.
in the next weeks?
We'll see. We'll see if But at the same time, like I said, I mean, your first line's not going to carry you every game, right? But like the line of Niederberger and Clark and Brown. I mean, I have to give Brown huge, shout out because, the way he is very determined to get on the forecheck. He's strong on the boards. He took a shot from Yusharano on the power play right in the inside of the leg, but he stayed with it and found a way to, get the rebound and put the puck in the back of the net. And those are the things that you want more of from players, because those second and third efforts are usually the determining factor, whether it be offensively or defensively, why you win games.
Danke für diesen Saisonrekord an Fragen. Gibt es weitere Fragen? Die Gäste bleiben hier, spielen Dienstag in Krefeld. Für uns geht es am Freitag nach Krimitschau, bevor dann am Sonntag das große Spiel gegen die Pinguine ist. Fast ausverkauft. Ein paar Karten gibt es noch. Für heute war es das. Vielen Dank und tschüss.